G'day everyone, welcome along, welcome to Steelhorse Station. Hope you are all doing fine today. It's a chilly start to the morning here in Melbourne by Melbourne standards, even for winter, but we're off to a good one on Friday. I'm just actually just waking up, just gone 7 a.m. and we are heading across to the Oaks this morning, so let's just get that sorted out. The Oaks is just starting up there. And great to see Peter and John. John's still with us, although he's about to disappear. Peter's a good friend of the channel. Haven't seen you for a little while. Great to have you in. I can see we've got a few others there. I'm guessing based on the number of starters, I've got FSG to be very thankful for. He was most kind during the week, reaching out to me, saw something we did earlier on the week on Oaks and made it into a little video, something along the lines of what I had done, although I haven't had a chance to see his. It came out while I was asleep. So I'll have a look at that later, but he very kindly put a link to the channel in the credits, and it's much appreciated. A bunch of folks did the thing with the keyboard and tapped the buttons, so thank you very much for that. Let's head across to the Oaks. Now, let's see where we are here. We're ready to go. So we'll jump in. What can I hear in the background? Oh, that's no good to hear. Well, hopefully we can make you smile at least a bit, Peter, and take your mind off it. It is raining. I thought it was. Just dribbling. Sit back and try not to cough and the like. I know what pneumonia's like. I have had it myself, although not in your circumstance, I know. Did you upgrade to Windows 11, John? Now I'm just looking at the rain, running around in circles, thinking, what was the jobs that we had on the go today? I was going to check on the cows. That's what I was going to do. Yeah, best wishes everyone for Peter, who's doing it a little bit difficult at the moment. Right, what are the cows doing here? That's really bizarre. I'm not running Windows 11, but on the surface of things, it was just it's really hard sort of problem to do anything with, but in a stream sense, and I know you've been talking to Giants, by any chance, did you try running the game in administrator mode? Now, what's happening with our cow farm here? We have 58 animals out of 240. That's fine. We have a bunch of milk that needs to go. So, while we've got a tractor here and the fact that it's raining, let us duck around. Oops, don't need the big tank. We can duck around the back and have a look at the milk tank. We can get this, one of the Putney children. For those that are new, The backstory here is the Putneys were a struggling farming family here on the Oaks, 5 children. There is our milk tanker. And the 5 children are of working age, and they've been helping their dad, who, well, to be frank, wasn't the world's greatest farmer, get back in control, and they've been developing nicely. No, I can imagine it doesn't at all, Peter. Having spent my own time in hospital with it, albeit a lot of years ago now, I can reliably report to anyone that's in doubt that it doesn't go well with anything, to be honest. Righty-ho, we have a little bit of milk in there. Let's duck out. I believe the cows won't find their way around to that gate in the time that it takes to go down to the dairy. Let's see here. Now, we want to go... Oh, we want to check first. I'm having taken all the milk out. I've probably... No, we've got some there. Farmers market is the right place to sell. So, let's just toddle you down there. Now, the other thing I wanted to do today during the week, I think I've loaded it. Let's see here. I think it's in miscellaneous. I saw Mr. Sealy P cover, yeah, this gadget, this tandem in his mod review, and I was thinking, that's really odd, John. I was thinking that this guy might be interesting to give a whirl. Sometimes with Windows, that's a really good strategy, John. It certainly can get itself tangled up when upgrading versions. I have had that on some hardware in the past. That's often an excellent strategy because it doesn't take much to get confused. The reason I was thinking of this guy is I'm looking at the area around the Oaks. I'm thinking, well, this might be an interesting way to use a couple of the bits of smaller equipment that we've got going, and I'm just keen to give it a try with a bit of a more varied scope than Mr. Sealy P was able to cover in the context of his little mod review. But these ones here would be no good to us on our farm given the roads, just because they're fixed at that width. And so what we will do, how wide was that one? Does it actually tell me? I think 15 means 15 meters, but it would be too easy if it actually told me how wide it was, wouldn't it? Anyway, the whole idea, or maybe it's, no, it can't be, could it be feet? Anyway, to answer John's question, and I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. To answer John's question, it is a tandem hitch, which enables you to put two or potentially more double sides with long center. What have we got here? Single sides with short center, double sides with short center. Thank you. So it allows you to attach multiple implements. And so I was just curious as to what type of implements. Single sides with long central, long center. Single sides with short, double sides with short center. I reckon that's what we want. Wheel setup. Two or more apparently. So you can see there's a hitch at the top. I don't think it's only for pin hitch. So I got the impression from his that it would allow some 3-pin mounted devices to attach. So that's why I wanted to give it a whirl. Color I'm not going to fuss about. Wheel setup. Standards are good. Decals aren't important. Neither is the wheel brand. So let's buy one of those. Sounds like the sort of thing that the Putney kids would mess with. And I thought it would be particularly relevant to experiment with today because we have a couple of, let's sell that while we're here. We have a couple of sewing contracts. There we go. The milk paid for it. Perfect. Let's send you... actually, let's drive you back because... let's not drive you back. Let's go and do one thing at a time. Right here, Putney Mania, Putney, that's where I want to go. Not the way I expected you to turn, but that's probably because you're on the wrong course. There we go. Let's wander around there. If by some very small chance anybody watches this stream that is not already subscribed to FSG, I would much appreciate it if you would reach out and find him. I can't imagine at this stage that if you've managed to find my content you haven't already come through FSG, but if you're in that small potential minority, do the thing, you'll be much entertained. He has some great content. Now, what I'm looking for is a tractor. Which tractor are we going to use? You need to keep going with that job. Let's... because we need more sugar beet down at that. The uninitiated, we own the sugar factory on this map, and we had a bumper sugar beet harvest, so it's full of cut sugar beet, and now we're just making sure before we get to the end of the year, to the next season, we get in as well. Tootle down like that. Now the tractor I'm looking for is where? Not over there. I'm gonna have to tab around to find it. Must be up in the other yard because it doesn't look like it's down here. Okay, this guy we can get started. So we have a contract on here. Field 49, I think it is. yes, I was quite taken aback when he just reached out literally a few hours after our stream on Court Farms the other day, and well, in fact, he jumped in the stream the next morning and said hi, but he sent me a note, and he said, he asked if he could use the idea in a vid, to which I, of course, said yes. As it turned out, right at the time, I was already editing. I'd already decided to do one for you guys, but as I said to him in a note, his is going to reach a much wider audience, and I felt that Court Farms was such a beautiful map. Anything we could do to increase its playability for people, it was a good thing. That for some reason, even though I was critical of it when we reviewed it, I felt unusually obligated to find ways to make it just a fraction more playable. So he would appear to have done that. We've certainly done everything he indicated to me, so that's great. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm looking for the contract. That's what I'm doing. I'm talking and looking, and oh, we've got some fertilizing contracts. We might grab one of those. That's just near us. We might as well grab both of them, I guess. Now, sowing 49. 49 is barley, 19 is canola. We are on which field? This is field 19, isn't it? So canola is correct. We are set. We have seed. Let's get going. And sorry to hear your arthritis is troubling you particularly today, John. That's not a fun affliction either. I think I've got it. Yeah, I had exactly the same thought, John. I think the new update, well, either Giants have done something under the covers again, or the recent update to better contracts tweaked it slightly, but they seem to be disappearing faster again. Now we want to open and close the course generator. That's the correct width. 6 headlands is way too big. 3 headlands, start in the center, sharp corners. Generate me a course. I can live with that one. Start you off. Now, of course, you're going to fold up first. So, the tractor I'm looking for is that one. Let's. We're not going to deliver eggs for the moment, so let's just pull you forward. Just a smidge. Actually, let's put you all the way around the other side. It'd be even cleverer. Get you out of the way. We have got a heap of eggs, but we might do those later in the stream if we get to it. I'd prefer to get these contracts while we're going. I had a look at the candidates for fields and concluded, now you need to go up to the store. And I concluded that, let's have a look here. I'd really like to add, so for any that, because we've got a couple of folks watching, for any that are a bit new to what we're doing, the Putney family owns these fields down, oh, actually, I can show you easily, can't I? This little parcel down here, the original Putney estate, we've deduced, extended out and included all of these fields. And so notionally, we're trying to restore the original Putney estate. It's been a couple of generations since it was at that order, and they progressively were selling off land just to get by. What the Putney children have been able to do is work these fields successfully. We added 69 a year ago, and we've also branched out into the cow farm at the top, which has come along nicely. So we just recently bought field 28 to add to the mix. What I'm keen to do is add one of the original estate fields, and to do that is going to take a little bit of cash, because that field 70 is 1.1, 67 is 1.5. That'll be the cheapest of them, 66 at 720. 65 is 2.4 almost, and 64 is 1.2. So 64 would be the obvious one to start with. It's slightly better land than some of what we work. So 1.3 million is what we're aiming for, but that might take us a little bit to get to. So you can head up to the store. You'll be there shortly. Let's put the tank away. That's the milk done. Crop's looking pretty good in the field there. Don't appear to have weeds in it, so that's good. Have a dog huffing at me, so I suspect he's decided he wants to go outside. We'll park the tractor, although he doesn't understand that. Yes, I know, Tito, I can hear you. You just have to wait. He does understand that word. Just excuse me 1 second. Let's head across there. There we go. Welcome in. Someone else popped in. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I agree. And part of the reason for following this guy down is we do have, so if we check our holdings down here, where are we? Mr. Haythornwaite's marvelous tool. Wolfman, thank you for joining. Glad to have you along. Hope you are well. Now, where are we here? We are, as you can see, we have a bucket of stuff at 867,000 in terms of potential produce. The sugar beets we're converting into sugar, and the sugar was now currently sitting at 300,000. So I was looking at, obviously best price is 944. But if we have a look at the curve, I reckon anything above 900 is what we want to be aiming for. Where's sugar down here? There it is. Which should be, it should start to bump up next month. We're at the bottom. So over the next couple of months, we should sort of head on the curve, and we'll just sell it as we get the chance. So there's a nice bump along to the cash we need there, but we are still going to need a few contracts. Have you joined us on the Oaks before, Wolfman? So based on that price, I don't feel the need to load a trailer. Even though we do have quite a lot. If we check the production itself, we've still got plenty of space in the factory for storing, so it hasn't filled our shed here yet, although the mechanism that we put in is working nicely. You'll see I did load the truck up, so we've got some on there. We've spawned some pallets and we've got a heap in the storage shed, so we're all good to go when the price gets somewhere that we like. Oh, that's good to know. I must say I am with you on that one, Wolfman. I discovered it about 1.5 years ago, and the channel's been going for about a year, and I've invested an unexpected amount of time in it and enjoyed it immensely. So there we go. So we'll let him run around in circles and transport those sugar beet, because, whoops, wrong button. As you can see, the actual sugar beet had dropped down. We don't need to do any more cut because it'll struggle to get through that before we get to the next harvest. Yeah, a great community. Oh, if you haven't, I think somebody tipped me off. Excellent, Jonathan. I will do my best to remember, but if I don't, please forgive me. Senior moments every now and again. G'day. Now, how do I pronounce that? Is that Turkle? Or Tickle? Turkle? Turkles? I know who it is, but given you've changed your handle, I should get your pronunciation correct as well. Turkle, Tickle. We'll go with that. Unless you correct me. Turkle. There you go. Okay, Turkle it is. Now, I was about to say something profound and I've completely forgotten what it is. Another senior moment live on air. Oh, that's what I was about to say. It's a wonderful community, and somebody in the stream earlier in the week suggested that I have a look at, or asked if I'd seen that Mr. Sealy P was doing some streams with his wife, and I hadn't at that stage, and I switched them on yesterday. So here's the tool we want. You'll have to send you to... I switched them on yesterday, and I've got to say it was a hoot. So she is a character, and they had just, as so often happens with married couples, they've just got a really good banter and chemistry, and and so basically the premise is they're on Purbeck, and Mrs. Sealy P has not played Farm Sim at all before, and so Mr. Sealy P is her farming consultant, and he is teaching her how to play, and she is a terrific sport, and it's just, I don't think I've laughed so much in a single stream video episode. It was just like real laughing out loud. It was quite funny, just, you know, real yet unexpected moments. It was just, she's very quick, and Mr. Silly P's never short of something to say, and he's still, it's quite obvious he's getting used to the fact that she's talking in the background, and then sometimes his mouth gets ahead of his hands, so to speak, and it's just fun. So I recommend it if you get a chance. Where are we trying to go here? Speaking of mouth getting ahead of hands, like, we're trying to send you to the, not to the chook farm, we want you to go to the main yard delivery. Hopefully you will get there on your own without too much trouble. So for those that have just joined, we bought a new piece of equipment, a mod that I saw earlier in the week, because we've got a couple of smaller bits, we've got a couple of contracts, so I just wanted to see how it would go. Now, while that's happening, we can drop you off there because the milk is delivered. The manure is coming along nicely. It's duck out of here. Oh, I think it's very easy. So if your first experience of this is on console, and well, they're really on any platform, but console in particular, and you're not a frequent console driving player, then the steering and accelerating using two joysticks, it takes a little bit of getting used to. And if then you, as it sounds like, he hadn't done anything nice to set her sensitivity up, then it would have been, well, it was particularly challenging for her. Wolfman, I have been Jonathan, I do know that. I have been playing computer games for a very long time, way too long to admit on stream, but let's just say it goes back decades. And but Farm Sim I've been playing since it came out. I actually bought it in the December, so just before Christmas 18 months ago. Within a couple of weeks of its announcements, it popped up on my Steam queue. I was looking for something to play rather, and Nicola, welcome along. Great to have you in. And I wasn't expecting much, but I'd read a few things and people seemed to write some good stuff about it. So I thought, oh, well, I'll give that a go. And that was 4,000 hours of game time ago in 18 months. I noticed that just this week I just clicked through 4,000 hours on Steam, which, to be honest, strikes me as rather an excessive amount. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend everybody fall quite that deeply in the hole, but yes, I do love it. What I like about it is the community. So, like the group of folks we've got here, everybody is just really nice. As I said, I've been around gaming for a long time, so I've, you know, touched on different things. I'm a bit of a nerd and an introvert, so not necessarily the widest social media presence you've ever seen, But I liked the fact that there are so many ways to play this game, so many ways to enjoy it, and so many wonderful people of all ages, shapes, sizes, and nationalities. It's really good fun. And for me, this checks a lot of boxes. Which field are we going for this fertilizing? Let's see here. Fertilizing was 23 was the close one. Which is where? I'm not going to fertilize in the rain. We will wait for it to stop raining. But I just thought I'd send this out to the fields. 23 is up the top there. It's just around the corner. Okay. 23 west sounds pretty good. Oh, it's the only farm sim will just let you go. You'll drive around until you find a way out. Well, there you go. So plenty of people got plenty of hours. Now, let's just find the right vehicle. Don't know why you're taking a shortcut through the workshop, but more power to you. You are doing nicely. Got about a quarter of this, no, 16%, sixth of this field done. And the man we're waiting for will be here in a minute, so we'll just wait for him. Yeah, so what I like about it is the mix of a really good game platform, like good in terms of creates potential for interesting gameplay, and then the technology. So I studied computer science way back in the day when I was at university, and one of the things I liked back then was graphics. But I got to tell you, graphics back in the last century was fairly archaic, and so it was something having the time on my hands now I got more interested in. And the way the game is a largely open platform and the community of modders means I can explore and learn about those aspects of the technology to my heart's content and have fun making the game, in effect, play the way I want to play while still being able to create stories. And Noah Lahoy, is it? Do I like maize silage or grass silage? So on here we only do grass silage. Now let's see here. We're going to experiment with this guy just before we take it out in the field, just in case I can't do what I'm hoping with it. Let's unfold you. How are you today, Noah? Welcome along. Glad to have you in. And is La Jolla, or La Jolla, have I pronounced that correct? I hope I have. Now, why won't you change driving direction? Work mode with free wheels. How do I unfold you? Ah, there we go. Okay. So we're in work mode. Let's see what. Now if we go. What I was curious to see is what type of equipment we can put on here. I won't be able to get the gill out with this, but I can get. They're both 3-point mounted, so I have not played Purbeck at this stage. What I was about to say to your maize silage question was on Tuesday mornings my time, so Monday evenings US, UK and Europe, we play on Newlands. So what I'm curious to see is, I got the impression from Mr. Sealy P that there were positions you could connect this up. Now I may have bought the wrong one, but so be it. Work mode with free wheels? No, we want to transport mode with locked wheels. Am I able? Pussy, welcome along. Great to have you in. It's looking like it won't connect on there, so what we need, I suspect, and we've only got one of them, haven't we? While I was up at the shop, we need a trail. I don't think the trail lifter here, it's up at the shop, so let's send this vehicle back to get it, I think. Let's go to the dealership. You're going to be able to get out of here without running into anything? Possibly, 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 possibly. I do not. I don't use, well, I do create fields, although on here the nature of the map doesn't lend itself. On Newlands, which is where we're doing Maize Plus, and that's where we create maize silage, we create fields there all the time. So we just cut them out with a plow. I've never really felt the need to paint in fields, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's what the field creator. Why do you not want to go? That's very odd. What are you connected to? That's better. So we'll send Michelle off. Now we're going to need two of those, aren't we? If it's going to work the way I hope. It might be unduly complicated, but I want to give it a whirl. One. Where is it? He's not going to be able to tow two of those. We'll get a red one though. And right, let's see how we go. I'll turn you off because it's going to be a while before you can do anything. Let's leave you there. This rain's a bit miserable, isn't it? Lawn doesn't need, the grass doesn't need to be cut today. March, we can't put our own, can we plant our own sugar beet in March? Oops, wrong one. We can put our own sugar beet in. So the intention is, the sugar beet worked really well in these fields, so I was going to do another sequence again. So let's go and get... Oh, we've got all the big tractors working, haven't we? We have, while you're waiting, let's send you up to grab the sugar beet planter, I think. Typical Yorkshire summer. Oh, everything we're seeing here about your weather in Europe at the moment suggests it's pretty hot. Goodness me. Just connecting to the wrong. That's better. And what part of the world are you from, Jonathan? I don't want to be doing the fertilizer thing. Actually, we might just about get away with that. We might do that one ourselves, not even on course play when it stops raining. The weather looks like it's supposed to break shortly. Let's see here. 11 o'clock. Ireland. Cool. I have not been to Ireland. It is on my list. What are we looking at here? 11 o'clock. Yeah, so it's still going to be an hour till we get you. You're still ferrying stuff. Don't need anything with you. It's very wet. So humid and miserable, relatively speaking. At least your conservatory will be less like an oven, John. In a minute, we should be able to get one of these out working, planting our own sugar beet, which one? 449 in there. Okay, we'll just wait for a tractor to turn up. Righty-ho. Well, it could turn into a sauna if he lets the water inside. It was certainly a sauna the other day by the sounds of then that hot sun. My sister-in-law and her family are currently down in Sicily somewhere. And they, even though they're all Aussies, are very brutified these days and complain bitterly when the temperature gets over about 30 degrees. I think they might have had a very hot summer holiday this year. Where is this tractor? I'm just waiting for it to pop up. There's nothing we need to do out here, is there? We should check the field state. Barley's growing, nitrogen's perfect, yields, they're the sort of numbers I like to see, 123%. Lovely. Thank you, mother, for the rabbits. Okay, we've got one guy up at the dealership. Where is he? There he is. Now, how are we going to get to... Not going to be able to tow two of these in tandem, am I? No, ferry him back. We've got other work we can do. Because there's no straps on it. I'll try hooking them up. You never know. Sometimes mods surprise you and a magical pin hitch could appear. No. Let's send you back to... our yard. Right, that's the tractor we were waiting for. Maintenance is pretty good. Fill you up with seed at the other yard. Sugar beet, that's the one. Ah. Should we pop that on Newlands? What's involved in adding it, Jason? Does it require any map edits to recognize the fields? Or does it work fine with custom fields? This is not going to work well with that equipment left in the middle of that. In the middle of the fields. Why don't we put you all the way over in the grass and get you out of the way? That might be a better strategy. We can experiment with you over there. Okay, cool. If I remember, I might have a look at it, because that would make... we are trying to rotate the crops quite deliberately on Newlands. And if it works well... patting stomach and rubbing head, yeah. Well, or is it the other way around? I forget. That much I can manage. So we're just waiting for our 23 cents a litre. There we go. I couldn't find one in pounds, shillings and pence. The way I kind of think about it, John, is that it's nice to have a penalty for doing a not so good practice, and a small bonus for doing a good practice. To me, that sort of fits with the keeping of the game. And it's not that difficult to remember what crop you put in last year and just change it to something different. So, yeah, I reckon it's a good thing. Yeah, I understand. I reckon it would similarly do mine. I just haven't previously got to it. I'm just waiting for the tractors to arrive. And we can get going with some... oh, that's what I was going to do. Let's check all our fields to make sure I haven't missed something. So if we have a look... So we've got 2 fields growing at the top and 1 field growing down here. We've got grass in the end, the only field I managed to get grass in as a cover crop was 69, even though that was the plan. So we'll wait until that's ready to cut, which I think will be next month. Before we put sugar beet in there. But my plan is this year just to put sugar beet in all 4 of these fields again. And then we'll look to rotate next time. Oh, that's what I was going to do. So pH is fine on all of them. Nitrogen's fine on everything we've planted. And we'll sort it out for the ones we haven't planted when we can. Here we go. Here's our right on cue, our big planter. Contract on field 19 is coming along nicely. Let's stop you there. Run you under the spout here. Or did we have this problem last time? No. Why won't you fill? I seem to recall we've been here before, which is how we ended up with 7,000 litres of fertiliser in here. So let's do that for a second. And I seem to remember last year we bought the seed tender for exactly this purpose. We do bales. Like baling. It's good fun. Oops, wrong one. We make silage in the clamp, but we also sell bales. In fact, we've just done, was it last stream or the stream before? What were you being a nuisance? Last stream or stream before, we did 4 or 5 baling contracts, which is how we filled up that silage for the cow feed and got ourselves some hay. We've also just picked up, you can see the grass machinery over there, so we've just picked up a big Massey baler which we haven't used yet. We've been using a McHale mod for a little while. Right. And which side do you come out? That side. Wipe out. I'm making a meal of that. Let's try that again. We've also just sold a heap of the straw bales that we got from last year's harvest. Why are you being a nuisance? We didn't have this much trouble last year filling this guy up. We haven't got a lot of seed in it, but we do have some. Let's see here. Why will you not? I'm not getting any indication of the trigger. It doesn't help when I back into the... Let's try folding you up. No. Very weird. I do not know why this is being so unkind. Bizarre. Let's just get out of there. Yeah, maybe too high. That's... Oh, have I got a height adjustment? No, I don't have it. I don't have a height adjustment that I can see. Let's try filling you up with speed. Yeah, the different... Oh, unless while it's telling me it's seeds, it actually wants me to hit it again. Let's just see if that did it. Depth perception doesn't help. I'm sure we used this last time to fill it. Let's try cycling. That's supposed to be the seed setting. Right. Will it let me? Let's try something kludgy. That wasn't quite the kludgy I had in mind, but that'll do. We'll just ignore the fact that it's raining. That would be unload here. What I was going for was oh, this is interesting. Where's my joystick? Lost my... Why is the joystick controlling the windows rather than... There we go, the front loader. That's better. Not encountered that before. Let's see. This will either just make a mess or it'll manage to put some seed in there. I was going for big bags out of the tank, not tip it on the floor. Oh, good. Lovely. We're really winning with these. Maybe it knows that there's a horse pack coming, and this is subliminal marketing from Giants to get me to buy the pack that I haven't bought yet. Isn't that going well? Let's try another load of that and see if we can find the trigger. Have one more idea, but it really is kludgy. Is that now full? Maybe I did get some in there. No, I didn't. Why don't you want to put any in there? I dropped it underneath again. It is just doing my head in. Okay. I have no idea what is going on with this planter. Let's drag everything out of the way. But what we're going to do... No worries, John. Hope the arthritis gets better, mate. Or at least eases. Okay, we've got one of our lifters there. Now, I do have some bags in the shed there, which is what we can use. And I wanted to get this guy out anyway. Caught myself on the door. Let's see here. Maneuvering just a little tricky with the front end loader bucket on the front. Come on. Get on there. I'm having a wonderful day today. That's better. I'm wondering if something is... Gee whiz. Seriously? I'm just trying to eliminate the prospect of a mod conflict, but at the same time, goodness me. Right, you're full. Instant bags. We'll clean up the mess afterwards. That sounds like a good post-stream activity. We'll now find out if it's some sort of weird mod. No, quite happy to load seed from bags on the floor. The good news is, in all that faffing about, it stopped raining. So I think what we'll do is drop this guy off here. Four headlands is good. Generate the course. I'm happy with that. And start you off. We've got sugar beet, which is what we want. And then what we'll do is we'll come up here and we'll do a couple of laps of this field and get this contract sorted. This spot sprayer was a great purchase for us. Made so much money from contracts. Spraying fertilizer and sorting our own fields out. Spraying herbicide. There we go, that's a bit of a better view. A lot more relaxing than fighting with the seed loading into that spreader. We could do that. That's how I've got. I have actually got some big bags there in the shed. What I was just thinking though, Jonathan, is there is a mod that, and I'm just trying to think, whose name escapes me, and it's a frame for making your own big bags. I'm going to go with LFHM or LFSM, something like that is the name of the modding group. And basically what it takes is crop or seed in on one side and it produces big bags for you. Now, yes, of course, we could absolutely buy them. There's a delivery track there. We could have some delivered. That's not a big deal. The reason we put that silo in the corner of the yard, though, was to make it easy to fill up with seed. And normally usually it has been. So I don't understand why that tender is a problem. That was the whole reason we purchased it. Unless something is conflicting with it. Well, it's either I'm using it incorrectly, which is a possibility, or there's a mod conflict of some sort. So Need to get to the bottom of that, but it didn't leap out at me while I was fiddling with it then. However, that said, we've got going. I need to send the little tractor back to the shop to get that other trailed lifter so we can complete our little experiment. I'll turn around and just put this on a normal worker for the next run back up the fields. Because what are we on here? We're pretty much 90 degrees, so regular AI worker should do the trick here. Managed to do that without just get out to the right width. And then we can pop over and turn that off. This is the tractor we want to send. Back up to the dealership. With any luck, you'll get out there on your own. And we can go back to our... You're going to get through this whole field with just the single tank. I'm real happy with that seeder. That's going gangbusters. That was a new purchase during the year. And now that he's up and running, planting is working fine. Let's turn that off. Put you down. Right, now we can take back over here. Let's move him over just a smidge. Field's a bit bigger than you realise just because of its length. There's plenty of big fields here. Oh, we've got more rain coming too. That's no good. Let's try driving in a straight line there, champ. All excited about the F1 in Hungary this weekend. Well, the experience is it tends to be a little bit of a procession. It's a hard circuit to overtake. Ah, okay. So you've had trouble with it as well, Peter. That's very interesting. Might have to have a look at just how it's set up. There's every chance that there's a quirk to how to use it that I'm not aware of, and therefore I'm not quite using it correctly. Yeah, something to do with the sequence in which you select things, or yeah, exactly, Jason. That that was the sort of thing, or a combination of like the triggers overlap in a particular way. We'll have a look at the trigger box when we get back. We'll just get this contract finished just for some variety. And some money in. We can go back and see if my little experiment stands any chance of working. I'm worried though that I bought the wrong piece of equipment, because that had all pin hitches on it. And see, that one's got pin hitches. I'm sure he had one that had 3-point links on it. Ah, there it is. That's the one that has 3 points. Cheers, Jason. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you next time. So the one that I bought, did I just not scroll through the options far enough to get, in which case we'll be able to fix it in the no, it doesn't have that. That's interesting. So it doesn't have the 3-point options on it. Okay, never mind. Because using the trailed lifters on it, I can see being unduly complex. Oop. My dog's talking to the neighborhood from inside the room. Tito, no. No. He hasn't quite figured out that dogs barking outside aren't talking to him. He feels compelled to communicate. Peter, I don't know what device you're watching on today, but you might find that your stream is a little bit behind. So if it's bothering you that your comments are taking a while to come up, I suspect it's because you're lagging on your end a bit. Because the stream's actually running really nicely. There's about a 5-second delay that I'm introducing, but there's a good couple of minutes, I think, lag on when your comments are in. Would just suggest you're a little bit behind which YouTube does to people sometimes. I have it on occasions watching some folks. So if you just refresh the stream, you might jump up to current. Right, so I must admit, I'm a sunshine sort of guy myself. And then, you know, rain on occasions. Growing up in a very dry continent like Australia, you get to appreciate rain's actually a good thing. It's like all weather events, it's all good until you have too much of it. Okay, well, looks like our driver has arrived at the shop, so we're going to turn them around in a minute. We're 3/4 of the way through this contract, so that's good. I do like how the spot spraying effect's really nicely done. A lot more relaxing, just getting this bit sorted. Let's get you lined up, actually going the furrow on the field, something like there, I'm tipping. Then we can head across to the shop, move you out of the way. I'll put everything in the way, haven't I? Oh, there we go. Get the trailed lifter sorted. We can head back. Right, you're going to main yard delivery. So on Monday night this week, we were at Court Farms, which was a bit different. One of the things that I watched during the week was FSG's review of Castelnud. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's a French map, and it looked pretty good. And so what I'm thinking is maybe we a look at that as a first look on Monday. So I don't know what people think about that. Spend a couple of hours in the same vein, wandering around, seeing if we get inspired by that one. That's currently my thoughts, and then of course we'll head back to Newlands on Tuesday, and we'll be back here next Friday. That's currently my plan though for next week, unless as an audience you have some other suggestions I should take into account. Let's just take over from you, turn you back on. There we go. Just about finished there. And we are finished. We'll do this little bit. The neat thing about these spot sprayers is you only use the amount of fertilizer that you need. As you can see, it doesn't spray off the field edges. And we arrive back just in time to avoid getting hung up on the trees. Right. That's that one done. To turn you off, fold you up. 1334. The other contract is on field 16, I'm guessing. How much liquid fert? Field 16. 1200 litres. Oh, I reckon we'll go pretty close. We're up here, so let's drive down to field 16. I reckon it's going to be touch and go as to whether we've got enough on board, but it's worth giving it a shot, I think. Right, now, that field 16 just in there. Let's turn on our mini map, that'll make it easier. It is. Where is the field entrance? Around the corner by the houses. See if we can do this without getting anything coming. Lovely country road. Everyone's home by look at all the cars in the driveway. Lower it down and away we go. We got a little island in the field. if we'll fit between that power pole and the edge. Probably will. Oh, stretch the shoulders. Bit stiff this morning. I think next week we get the Giants release the horse aggravation. Yeah, aggravation, is that what it's called? Horse aggravation pack. Not sure there's much more that you want than cranky horses, but it'll be interesting to see. That usually means we get a patch, so look out for that early in the week. I suspect there will be a game patch. Got no idea, of course, what they will incorporate in that. But just be alert that it could tip over some mods depending on what they fix or adjust. Get around there. I reckon we're going to go pretty close to getting this field done. We're lucky. Judge that. The seeding contract is about 80% complete, so that's going well. And we're a third of the way through here, and we've used pretty much about a third of what we had in the tank, so we are going to go very close to finishing this. Excellent. So our other lifter is back at the yard, so timing will work out nicely. We can go back and just try the experiment, see if I can actually put those two seeders behind that tool. Jonathan, if you're still there, what map or maps are you playing at the moment? See if we can just sneak around there. Bit of a sweep without getting caught on the stay. Oh, looks like we lost him. Never mind. Nope, I got a buy there. Nonetheless, we're just going to finish this off and go back and just try that experiment with those two-seaters, see if we can put them behind that tandem frame. It might turn out that it's better suited to pulling two cultivators, so that will test after the harvest. I am very well. Because of the characters in it, I have no idea what how to say hi in terms of your name, because it looks like, are they Cyrillic characters that are coming up? But welcome regardless of where you're from. The stream is going very nicely, thank you. I've had my usual mix of successes and challenges. And we're just in the process of finishing this contract. We had a bunch of folks in earlier who have had to go do other things. It's always the case. Whilst it's early morning, well, start of the day for me, I'm quite conscious. Well, welcome, Joseph. My sister is the linguist in my family, so she may have recognized the character set. I did not, I'm afraid. It's nice to have you along. It's quietened down a little bit as the Aussies that were watching have gone off to get on with their work day, and the largely British audience has decided that it is time for bed, as has Europe, and we're probably just a fraction early for most of North America in terms of their day. It's hard to get a time slot that works for everyone. Yep, we've finished the contract here. We did indeed have enough. I still feel like I should finish the stripe for the farmer. So what we'll do is we'll send you back to the equipment park. We've got 2 to collect at the top there. That'll cover our costs for the day. So turn you off, fold you up. Back out to the road. 2 AM, right. So I'm guessing you are indeed in the Middle East. Just a wild guess on my part. He's still transferring sugar beet, which is good. Let's see. Now, the experiment we want to do is... what do we got here? We've got our trailed lifters, so let's bring you across. Which way around do you go? You need to go that way. So we need to put that... Just nothing to see here. Very good. Not a part of the world that I have visited. Yeah, there we go. Attach you on there. Now, if I then back you up out of the way and bring you across, the plan is to put you sort of like there. Just talk to myself for a minute. Right. Then go and get the other one. Oh, goodness me. Let's connect to the correct side still. Correct side. And are you a Farm Sim player yourself, Joseph? Get you out of there. Let's pop you on the front here and just see if this is going to work. Oh goodness, my alignment's terrible. Figuring is I want you transport mode with locked wheels, right? That's what we want, so that I can back you up there. Right, that's one. Let's see here. This is just a bit of a wacky experiment. I saw this mod earlier in the week and I was keen to see, because we've got a range of smaller bits of equipment around the yard because of the nature of how our farms developed, can we now I want to put you down because tractors, can I? That's better. And just ignore the seed pile mess on the floor. That was a failed activity earlier. Clean that up afterwards. I reckon, yeah, that hitch there will do nicely. Oops, wrong one. You off there. Yeah. Apparently when we hook them up, we do get a little bit of fine adjustment. There we go. Yeah. No, let's try. That's the device. Ah, there we go. So Shift J allowed me to put them slightly apart. Well, I got them both connected. If I put them on work mode, I can't get them to a field like this, that's the only problem. But we did at least connect them. So I think as a proof of concept, that's fine. And that would give me 9 meters width. So what we'll do, oh, there you go. It doesn't matter what country or part of the world you're in, night shifts can be a bit slow and tedious. Now, let's turn that off. Let's take stock here. Where are we up to? Well, I'm on this time on a, what for you, this time slot and on Tuesday morning, so 3 days earlier. So that's every week, different maps doing different things. So feel free to pop in whenever suits you. Now we can collect those too. Couple more fertilizing contracts. I think we'll accept those, which we'll do another time. But for now, we're actually at the end of proceedings for the day. So I'm going to call it right there. That's been a useful one. We got our experiment to sort of work. It's a bit ungainly, but I reckon that'll. I reckon we'll be able to seed 2 implements, 1 tractor, and certainly I'm feeling confident that we could take maybe not 2 plows behind there, but certainly 2 cultivators or 2 what am I thinking of, mulches. So I'm interested to give that a try in coming stream, and even 2 of our hoes. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Joseph. And thanks to everyone else. And in particular, thanks to FSG for the referral. And if you haven't seen it, catch his clip on managing the gates on Court Farms. And we'll catch everyone next week. Thanks for watching. See ya.